Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, people. How are you doing? Welcome to our friendship journey. Yes. Today we are excited as usual. Anytime we get together, we get excited, right? Yes. And so just excited that you guys are here. Welcome. Make sure you give us a shout out. Let us know that you can hear us. Make sure to let us know that you're here. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a hey, I'm here, sis. We with you. And we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Are y'all ready for that, ladies? Yes. Of course, we're gonna start with our news from our very own CC. Give us the news. What's been going on with our friendship journey?
Hey, y'all. So the website is up and running.
Yes.
So if you signed up before and we missed you, go back, redo it, and we'll respond to you. Also, our friendship journey, we had some outings. So we had, yes, we did painting with a twist. Yes. Some of us from a kickball league, and some of us went to the Rangers game to celebrate our husbands for Father's Day. Thank you, husbands. Yeah. Even though y'all get on my nerves, so I have to insert something. And moving forward. So in June we had a few graduations, but this weekend we're going to be celebrating our own Carolyn, her daughter Tiffany. We're going to celebrate her this weekend, and also the journey. Guys, no copy. You need to go and get it. Yeah, available on Amazon, and you can click the link on our website, www.ourfriendshipjourney.org.
Yes. Have your book. Go ahead, take a selfie. Let us see you in your book. Come on, we want to see you. We want to shout you out. We thank you for your support. Let me tell you, because it was a labor of love, and our journal team did an awesome job. We want to make sure that y'all be with us, write with us, journal with us. Because like I told my friend who purchased it today, it's therapeutic. It's good for us to just write. Yes. And so we want to make sure we get in the hang of that. So thank you for our news. We got a lot of things just coming up. I'm excited to celebrate our tip. She's just such a sweetheart. Right? So I'm so thankful, appreciate that she came up with that idea. We want to show her some love. Right? Because that's our sister. That's our friend. She wants to be our friend. Are we ready for her to be our friend? Don't do this.
Y'all young enough.
You're not ready. I'm gonna leave it there because I know you don't want me to start crying. My son is graduating. I don't know. His daughter is a little different too, and I just know. So I'm excited to share it though. I'm excited to share that moment with you and with her. Hopefully I can share that with you. Yeah. Around. Y'all are the auntie, the honorary auntie. We are. I have been there since she was a little girl, so I thank y'all for being the village. Yes, thank you. I'm that way able to support. And then next year we got two, so I'm excited, y'all. We're doing some things, and we gotta make sure that we teaching and training our young ladies, right? They need it, and so we have to be that example. But anyway, let's get into today's podcast. Hopefully, you joined us last time, and we just went into talking about learning and rules of friendship. And so what we came up with by the end of the day, by the end of the hour, we said, you know what? We're not perfect, right? We all have some issues. We're all have some things that we're dealing with. Because that's the one thing people say, oh, y'all think y'all all that, y'all perfect. Hey, we already know ain't nobody perfect but Jesus. So we all have something that we're working on. And so I'm glad that we were able to identify those and either say, hey, this is what I've been working on, or this is what I need to work on. So I'm excited to hear from all of you on tonight. Just to make sure, ladies, everyone that is listening, this was the list. We're gonna start with our sister Tony. She's gonna talk about her quality time. Casey, open this burn, open. Michelle, delivery. Creek gonna talk about her consistency, and then Carolyn gonna also talk about her time with friends. Cece with awareness, and then I will go last. Y'all know I messed up last time, right? I told God, hey, keep it to one word. And then I went on and just start going on. And so I'm gonna just kind of repeat mine and go in a little more depth at the end. But I'm gonna start with my ladies on today. Tony, go ahead, take this away. What are you working on?
Okay, so last time I talked about quality time. You know, my mother, I'm a wife, sister, I have all these hats that I wear continuously. And I find myself just being busy. Always busy. It's always a to do. I text you guys this week, like I got this long to do list, and I don't want to do nothing on it. But I'm gonna pick one thing. So I also need time for myself, you know, because mental health is real. And if I can't take care of me, I can't take care of anybody else.
Right.
And then I want time with my girls. Me and my girls. So what I've decided to do is each week I'm picking three like areas. So it's myself, my friends, and my mom. Although she's not here, but I'm making more time to talk to her and have those conversations. Although her and I talk every day, but it's not like an extended conversation. I'm just gonna pick 3 people and we're gonna just do it each week. Because my husband and my kids, they're gonna get there, even if I don't. They're gonna be you know, they're gonna be in it weekly, but I'm gonna pick 3 other people to just spend time with and making it more personal. You know, I'm always gonna talk about the same thing. Oh, you have a list. I got a list too. You know, like okay, that's the same thing. But just like talk about just something totally different.
And intention.
Yeah, and intention. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. And so far, so good. You know, it's just like I mean, it's easier because I'm an educator and I'm off work right now at this particular moment. The trial will be when work starts. That I could be.
Partner, right? So we're gonna make sure that we're gonna check in with
We have a referee.
we have so that's good. This is okay. I'm glad you identified that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I felt that in my spirit. I felt you got some work cut out, see?
Too much to do.
Something serious. Yeah. I can't write it. But yeah, yeah, that's good. All right, you want to go next? Anybody else got something to add, suggest? All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go, Casey.
So openness. Although I wanted to elaborate last week, I was told that I couldn't. So today, more so than anything else, when I think about myself, I think I'm extremely personable, but I think I'm extremely guarded. So as open as I am to share, there are certain pieces of me that I keep to myself and kind of my immediate circle. And so where I think God is really growing and stretching me is to allow more people in. Last week we talked about discernment. So not everyone, but if I look at these ladies amongst me, then he basically said they can come. And so I think it's layers to everybody. I think I'm a very complex person as far as how I think. I'm a deep thinker. I think that, you know, I'm extremely thoughtful. And so there's a lot that comes with having access to myself. And so where God is really trying to show me is that depending on who the person is and when he gives the okay, that it's okay for me to kind of let walls down and turn my guards down. So my word is openness. I'm still a work in progress. I miss the mark a lot, but it's something that I'm actively working towards so that I can be the sister that you ladies need and that you can be what I need as well.
I like that.
I'm gonna stand some of my words, y'all. Now I'm trying to think
Oh,
of
Lord.
Look, some of the things that you said was just so, it was impactful, but it's relatable.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what you, I was smiling because I was like, wow, she's, you know, we have similarities in those areas. And so we probably all, of course, have areas that we can all relate to when we talk about our words. But I was just like, wow, she, I was like, dang, I should have wrote mine down.
That was good. But it was real. Those walls, we do hold them up until we
Yeah.
feel comfortable, right? She said discernment. Until that time is, it's like, I don't know. I tell you, everything just so, you know, off the rip. Like I have to take time, and I can't say how long that time is, and you know how much time to spend with you before that to happen. Because sometimes God just allows those walls to fall, and then you're able to share. So it is. I feel that too. Like
Yeah, I felt that too, because I consider myself to be a very friendly person. Like I never met a stranger. I'm gonna be nice. I can meet anybody where they are, but you're not gonna be able to get to know me. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like that everybody doesn't have access. You know, I joke like everybody can't handle Michelle. You know, and I say that all the time when I'm joking, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it takes special people
Right.
to really be that I, you know, can allow into to the real. I'm not saying the fake, I'm fake, but just
Yeah.
be able to be
Feel vulnerable.
from our heart, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's important for us to guard our
guard our
heart.
hearts,
And
absolutely.
I think sometimes we want to get hurt in friendships and relationships because we let people into places that they have not warranted a space
Right.
in. And so I
That's
think
good.
we get caught up in, oh, you gotta love everyone. You do, but you value different people in different ways,
That's
and you give them
right.
access to you in different ways.
Right.
That's
Okay.
right. That's good.
Right.
Good mic drop.
I do.
see, it was worth the wait. Right. It was worth the wait. But technically, all right, Brian, let's talk to us. Because yours is open as well. We're close to open.
Yes, it's open and same thing. I am open to, when I say open, I am open to receiving and giving the love of Christ through others, the consistent love of Christ, giving and receiving. But what I am not open to, and I think this goes for everybody as, you know, we go through life and make friends, is the unnecessary. Sometimes we feel that when we befriend people, when we make friends, we have to be so tied up, tangled up in all kinds of nonsense in their life, and we do not. If we can be friendly, we can gain friendships, but we can stay free in the process. So as we go through this life, I think we should remember it's okay to be open to the necessary and closed to the unnecessary. And that too takes discernment. And once we realize what those unnecessary things are, it's know that it's okay to remain close to those things and just focus on giving and receiving God, you know, the love of Christ consistently to each other, if that makes sense.
So you will take on with that.
Exactly, because we can get tied up and tangled up and we'll find ourselves bound when we were free. Because we're trying to scramble to let this one know I like you and I hope you like me. And then we want to people please and oh my gosh, if I do this, and that's not necessary. It is not, and it's not necessary. And once we become, we're the helper, we come, now we're bound, they're bound, and we're all stuck going around the same mulberry bush. So remain open to the necessary is what I want to do, and close to those things that are.
Right. I like that. That's it. Because we don't have to, you know, accept everybody's baggage or do what everybody is doing to show friendship and love. It could be, you know, I'm free from, you know, whatever. And so I don't want to take on that stronghold again or be victimized by whatever other people are dealing with. So you just kind of, like you say, that love, give people love based on how open you are, how open you want to be with them, but without taking on their bag, if that makes sense if I explain that.
It can be done, but that's what we do. The news that CC gave, but we don't all do the same thing. Some people went to the Father's Day thing, some people didn't. The other night we went out to, what's that restaurant we went to? Somewhere we went.
You could see.
Gloria. It's okay, like this is what we wanted to do, and that should be okay. Like that's
Right.
we're okay with that. Like we don't feel bad. Oh, if she doing it, I gotta go do it. No, you
Right.
don't. Like or maybe you just don't do it. Guess what?
Right.
We still love you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Like it's
Right.
okay. You are who you are. And so just being open to that, I think that's the whole point of this friendship and us showing it to the world. You don't have to do that. You don't have to take other people's baggage. Accept the situation for what it is.
Yes.
Accept it for what it is and grow in that. Don't try to make it more than what it is.
Right.
Enjoy the fun, the laughter, and what God has placed you to do. And I think that's important. I think that's good because you don't want to take on that heavy burden and feel like you have to that weight. A friendship shouldn't be a weight. This should be freedom. This should be where you're fun, where you can get away from the husband and the kids and just enjoy yourself.
That reminds me of last week when we were talking about like unspoken rules. To
Mhm.
me, that's saying you're conforming to something that you're not. So you're not coming into the friendship being authentic.
Yeah.
You're coming in looking to receive something versus just being.
Just being.
And I think that's the important part. Like you have to be you. And you're not gonna be for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's part of how we grow, like, because we all grow with each other and we're all sometimes at different spaces, at different places. So it's like an iron sharpening iron. We sometimes maybe having, not that it's bad, but we may be having a off day or something and somebody can speak the truth, like, hey, girl, what's going on with you? You just don't seem like yourself or whatever. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm just kind of going through. So it may be that, maybe it's the attitude that you have that's just off. And Vern may be able to say, Carolyn, I really am praying for you, or I'm concerned about you because you just don't seem like you're in the right headspace or whatever. And so she's able to speak to me out of her truth and where she is, and to be able to help pull me up. So it's just different spaces. I think it's discernment. I think we help each other to grow.
Yeah.
So I think it all comes in that full circle and being authentic, like Casey said, being who you are and loving the person where they are. Yeah.
And it goes back to like what she said, showing the love of Christ,
Right.
because we know that Jesus came with love for everybody. But there was a particular situation where he was like, I got to get up out of here because I can't do what I want to do in here. And he, like you said, protect your energy. He could have done mighty works. He could have still did it, but he wasn't about to force because people didn't receive him at that time. So you have to, like you said, that was his own town, right? Exactly. And so he to protect himself and not take on the negative baggage and the perception that they had of him, he was like, I gotta leave so I can do what I need to do someplace else. So, it's like you said, it still goes back to the discernment, but just to bring it up.
Just to bring it up.
He go real deep. She opened it up. I feel like that can go real deep with what she just said. Sometimes you have to leave a certain situation so that you can go through that process of growth. I feel like if you were to go to people who know me from Houston, they probably see Kay as, oh, hey, women with fruit? Like, what is that? But then y'all see me and y'all accept me for who I am now because God has worked on me and done some things in me to where it's displayed differently now. And so I think sometimes you do have to take a separation so that you can walk in purpose.
That's good. That's good. Like I'm not feeling obligated to being what somebody else expects to be. And that's kind of what I was thinking about as she was speaking too. Just having that openness and being transparent and saying, you know what, I just don't do that no more. Or I just, I don't, let me know when y'all do X, Y, Z or whatever, and not feeling, because I don't think we feel like, oh man, we need so and so to come do X, Y, Z. It's oh sis, I can't make it. Okay, cool. We'll catch you the next time around. And so I think it has to be on both ends, the giver and the receiver. They both have to have an agreement that, you know what, it's good, sis. Like you said, hey, it's good, sis. You can't make it. We'll catch you next time around. But then that person, shouldn't feel obligated to having to, basically explain why they don't want to participate or whatever. Because I've noticed that as women, sometimes women feel some type of way. What you mean you ain't coming with me? Because I'm not coming. Like respect. I ain't gonna make it. I had to learn that. I had to learn that myself with friends, because sometimes when you feel like people match your personality, or you want them to match your personality, you want them to do the things that you do.
Right.
And when they don't, you kind of feel some type of way, because you feel like this my girl. Like, you're supposed to do what I do, and I'm supposed to do what you do. We're supposed to hang out the way we like to hang out. But no, not people, but God grows us up in different seasons of our life. And so we just have to be respectful and say, sis, you know what? I ain't there. I don't do that, whatever. So, I'll catch up with y'all next time or whatever. Right? I totally understand. I get it. All right. Michelle, you ready for
Delivery.
Delivery. So the reason why I said delivery is because I I take extreme care and concern when I'm dealing with people who are not a part of my inner circle. I'm a strong believer in, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And so I think about things that I say. I think about how I say things, and I really think things out when it's people that are not in my inner circle. But when you're in my inner circle, it's just what it is. Because I feel and it goes back to what I said last week. I feel like you should know. But even in my inner circle, I'm a newlywed, and so we growing.
Exactly put.
We've had several conversations about my delivery. I'm looking like, what? I love you, right? Why are you offended right now? Right. Right. And so, even with my children, so they were like, Mom, hey, why you gotta say it like that? And I'm like, but am I wrong? I'm gonna tell you the truth. And in my mind, you would rather hear the truth from me because I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it to you raw because I love you. Somebody else, you go out there, they're not gonna give it to you like that. Or if they give it to you, it's gonna be different. So you want to hear the truth from somebody that loves you first. That's my thought process. But since I've been married, I've had to rethink that thought process and think about my delivery with things. So it's not watered down, it's sugar free. It still got all the flavor, but it's sugar free. So
delivery, just real quick. So I think about, y'all know the story where the man made this nice steak, and would you want your steak on the top of a trash can, or would you want it on the tiny plate? Which one you gonna choose? So that's the thing. What you're saying probably is true for the most part. It has some validity, right, to it. But it's that delivery that's important, right? And so I think that's something good that you work on, because you talked about also last time about your grandmother, how she gave it to you, and you thought she was mean. So you don't want that perception, even with your friends, even with your spouse, even with your children. You don't want that perception like, oh, she's mean.
It's like a double-edged sword, though, too.
Okay.
Because
working on it.
I said, okay, it's a work in progress. Because my kids also know that if they want the truth about something, they're gonna come to me. Like when Charvelle is branching out and she's doing Mom, what do you think? They all come to me. What do you think? What do you think about this? Because they always tell us the truth. They may not like the way I say it, but they know it's the truth, and they know that I'm gonna give them the truth. And like I tell them all the time, you're not gonna suffer from delusions of grandeur.
I have something to say.
You will not.
I'm happy with Shelley's birthday. I give my mom,
Mhm.
but she also has a delivery. She got it. Well, I didn't say it. I said, Mom, sir. What you said may have a point, but you have to think. How many people do you want them to focus on? What you're saying or how you're saying? Because I can hear everything you're saying, but am I going to focus more on the words that came out of her mouth or how she said the words out of her mouth? And then she's like, I said, so if you wasn't using your kindest, most gentle voice, and if it came out the old way it used to, I said, no, they take her as me. Like, oh, that was, or she's mean, or she's not friendly. I said, it's the approach. I said, it's the approach. And the approach can go a long way. So I'm glad you're working on that. And that's in all areas, with everybody. So I'm glad you're my inner circle.
I do want my outer circle, but I feel like my inner circle should know better.
and take you for who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do that, because that's
So in my inner.
they feel love you, but then, of course, what are they gonna focus on? What you saying?
Initially, they do that. And now, how I said it, but they make it like this.
They got a process.
But I think us, like, we know you gonna be lovely, but we clap back. So we gonna say something, we like to shut now. You
Tone it.
tone it down. That was a bit overboard. But we just don't, we just let her just talk. Sometimes she just wanna say it. And
Yeah.
it
But
just-
you're right, you're right. So, church was going on, I hadn't started, whatever was going on in church. Me and another family, I don't wanna bring out that crowd. We were talking, having a conversation. She's not in the inner circle. So my sister come in like, wait, what you doing? Like, your wife, calm down. And I said, hey, calm down. And the other person is like, I know. I'm not struggling with this. This lady was like, it's a you need to go apologize to her. But I understood. Calm down. But I'm telling you, she went there right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She was in the middle of church.
it wasn't in the church. No, I'm sorry.
It was
like,
before
yeah, it was before
church.
church.
Well, nobody here. About 5 people is this together. I ain't going out of church now.
Right. But it wasn't. It was
5 people here. Church had started. Bishop, well, nobody here. So come on, mister.
But it just, we know. There ain't no hard feelings.
It wasn't, but that's why I said when she came, I said, you gotta apologize to her. And she felt so like knowing you know, to see her. I was good, like, please, I got this.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I'm doing and chill out. And I'm about to finish the conversation and let's go. So we coming back to you as we know how to handle her.
Yeah.
It's the one outside.
Love others like
All right. We okay. We're about preaching with consistency.
But y'all know I had to look this up. When I was thinking about consistency, I was kind of thinking about it in all aspects of my life. Because, as a mother, as a wife, as a working woman, sometimes we kind of split in some areas. And so you try to build consistency in every aspect of your life, but you never really sometimes accomplish that, to the full effect that you would like to. And so, but when I looked it up concerning relationships, it says behaviorally, consistency means checking in on each other on a regular basis, being there when you are needed, and having a sense of commitment to the process of a relationship, getting to know each other and being with each other. Integral to consistency is honesty. And so for me, um, the part that says a commitment, a sense of commitment to the process of a relationship is kind of like the area that I'm seeking improvement on. And I say that because I think in the past I've been hurt by women before, especially groups of women, that I stopped committing to the process of friendship. And so what I mean by that is when I meet people, once I get to know them, I get to know people just enough to know how I want to be with them, the type of relationship that I want to be with them. So I put people in boxes and I leave them in that box because I feel like that's all I want to give to that person. Because I feel like people can't handle the authentic me, the full me. You know, maybe it's my perspective, maybe it's my views, maybe it's my approach, my aggression, whatever that is. And so because I've been hurt in the past, I give people what I want them to have, and then I pull everything else back. Kind of similar to what Casey was talking about. I have barriers up, and I developed that over time based on just failed friendships, failed relationships. You know, just women feeling some type of way. They don't like this about me. They don't like that about me, and so they attempt to treat me a certain way based on what they don't like about me. And then I have to pull back and say, okay, then I'm just gonna leave you alone and let you be you, and we'll be what we need to be from a distance or whatever that needs to be. And so I really want to try to commit to our relationship, to our journey, because I think, you know, yes, this is something that we've been doing for a very long time. You know, you guys know me as that comedic, you know, fun, hype, you know, like to have a good time type of person. And so now that we're having more serious conversations, I want to pull back because I'm like, y'all don't know that girl. And so I'm like, I'm kind of nervous about how my inner circle is going to take to my inner thoughts, my inner being, the real authentic me and all of my different personalities. And so I'm building on that. Y'all gonna have to pray with me through that because there may be moments where I may not want to speak up or say much. And it's not that I'm in a mood, it's just I'm still trying to build on our relationship and what I feel comfortable saying and what I don't feel comfortable saying. And so I really want to build consistency and also getting to know all of you. And I feel like, oh, she got deep on me. I don't want to get deep, so let me just smile, you know. And so people don't know that about me. That's kind of like a shyness that I deal with because of the barriers that I've had up for so long for women. And so I give people what they give me. Like I know that Carolyn is sweet and soft. And so when I approach Carolyn, I try to be that. I know I can turn up with Michelle. I can match her turn up. I can match Kate. Like I give people what they give me, but sometimes it's not always the full extent of myself. And so I want to work on that because I think that has to do with just being honest, transparent, authentic, and just kind of committing to the process. And so, you know, my prayer has been, okay, Lord, here we go again with, you know, a group of women, you know, who I've never, like I said before, I've never had this many women or this many women in one place, one state, you know, just in my travels and moving around and being in the military. You know, I've had a few friends here, a few friends there, but not seven girls in one spot.
Right, right.
And so that has been somewhat of a different type of journey for me. So my hope is that you all will be able to receive the full extent of me and love me anyhow. Love, you know, agree to disagree because you ain't always gonna agree, but at the same time, you know, just kind of love me through the process.
I love that you shared that, because I feel the only way that we can get to that place, and I'm speaking for myself and for you in this regard, is if we give the others permission. And I know we said that last week, like, oh, give people permission on kind of how to approach certain things. But I feel like we can only get to that deep place with you if you allow us to. And that comes with you just being you. And if we don't accept that for whatever reason, then you have to be okay with it and realize, okay, that person wasn't who God put in my life, or that wasn't my season with that person. But I think you always have to show up as you. And if it's gonna be layers, complexities, whatever it is, like we have to see it so that we can know, okay, well, this is how we need to address this way, depending on the circumstance. But I love what you said.
Yeah, that's what it is, layers. It's layers of me that I'm trying to peel back and expose that I have. And so I'm trying. It's a challenge sometimes, but I'm trying to expose those layers and then just kind of learning how to articulate myself in such a way that doesn't come across as, being too direct, or like Michelle said, that delivery, the way in which I deliver it, because sometimes if something is said and I say something back, I don't want it to be taken as if I'm trying to be contrary or negative. But my goal is always just to get us to see it from the other side of the fence, because we're talking to women from all different walks of life.
Exactly.
And so there's going to be somebody out there that's going to have a way different perspective than what we have. And we have to be open enough and willing to share those different perspectives and agree to disagree with whatever that is.
I love it.
Mom is in these comments. Be you.
Being you. Yes, Mama. And see, I'm learning to not to kind of steer away from my past experiences where I was me and I gave people the full me and they just hurt me. And so now I'm trying to go back to that, and because I'm real with what I give, but am I giving everything, or am I just kind of sheltering part of me? So yeah. So yeah. All right. Yeah, you gotta feel there. I'm under there.
You want to go somewhere? I went to let it go. Way to release that right there. See, I'm glad she stuck with it.
In here, girl, you got
You don't wanna go?
You said next time. Not them layers, huh, baby? I feel that. I truly feel that, because I think we all, as women, we're complex, and you just want to be accepted, you want to be understood, and I know that we do that for each other. But as we grow in relationship and communication with each other, that's how things are going to come out. So my word was time, and I am an extroverted introvert. Okay, come on. So that means I can go from one side to the other. I'm a social person, but I'm also an introvert. So I like to kind of go away, kind of go into my little hole, or like home, because I like to be in the group. I like to be in relationship with people, out here having fun with you all, and we have fun. We always have fun. And I also would be perfectly okay at home in my pajamas to refuel myself. I think for me, there's a part of me that has to have that time. But then I also think that I've kind of been like you in the past in relationships. And I sent Brandy this picture of a journal entry that I also had those walls up. And when we first started in relationship with one another, I really saw, you guys were good friends, and you were able to be trusted. And, so that's another part of it that I'm letting go and wanting to be, have more time with you all, with friends, individually and collectively. Like sometimes we may have something planned and it may be like, okay, I really don't want to go, but let me call and say I'm not going, or I have to not force myself, but make myself get more open and get into what is it in our world, like in your world, coming to the event.
going to show up to support you all, my friends, because I want that relationship and that's important to me. So I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. But you know, that's me, the extroverted introvert.
I like
So when y'all see me kind of go, I feel like that's Karen right there. She have a moment by herself, but
Oh, which do. Like, I do. I particularly fix you. Because there's times when you hang out, and we have an awesome time with you, and, you know, you were part of the group, and you and us, and y'all gonna take y'all time. And it's like, and it's not bad, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's nothing bad or anything, like, you say no in a heartbeat, like, and that's fine.
but I don't, you know, and my thing is, I don't ever, which I know, I don't think y'all do feel offended.
Yeah, it's
But,
fine.
you know, and I don't feel like y'all are offended, but I think for me, sometimes when, like, getting deeper into knowing you all. 'Cause
Right.
like Lucretia said, I mean, we're learning each other, we're getting to know each other, but I mean, like, you know, there's still some things about you that y'all don't know, and some things about y'all I don't know. And I know that comes with time, as we were talking about, but just being like, pick up the phone, like you were saying earlier, intentional about, hey girl, how you doing? You know, I don't do that. Like when I get home, it's just like, okay, I ain't no phone, no, you know, whatever. But we get with each other.
Right.
We
Yeah.
get with each other. So that's just me.
And we like hanging out together. I think that's what makes a difference because I'm a personable person. I'm not a talk on the phone person unless you be like, girl, I need you to pray, or I'm going through this or whatever. Then I'll listen, you know, whatever God lays on my heart, I'll share. But I'm not that girl, what you doing? I got 10 kids. I don't have time to talk about what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I don't do that unless, you know, there's something that needs to be exchanged. I'm down for that if that's what's needed, or if that's like, if Tony will call me and be like, girl, let's talk. I'd be like, girl, what's up? Because she wants to have that communication. And in that moment, I can do that. But I'm not that. I'll pick up the phone and I want to do that. But I want to do consistency with her because some friends need that.
Yeah.
Some friends need that and they need to know that you care and you're thinking about them, because I've lost friends as well. And that's another part of that consistency because, you know, I've lost friends due to like long distance friendships, you know, we move out of town or whatever, but then we lose that relationship because I ain't called. And so that to me is like, it could have been something, but because I didn't feel like I did my part,
Right.
you know, so.
But you know what, just to piggyback, go to add on, that's one of the things that I do love about this group is because we don't all have to hang together as a group every single time. It is okay for me and Cece and Tony or whatever to get together, and that allows us the time to get to know each other separately outside of the group and spend time with one another. Because there was a time, you know, I didn't come to anything unless my sister was coming. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, just being more open, you know, I'll go, hey, yeah, let's hang out. Me, you know, me, you, you know, we all, like a few of us went to, you know, Painted with a Twist, whatever it is. And that gives us that time to get to really know each other when you're in a smaller group setting, as opposed to all of us being together. Now, when all of us get together, we turn up and we have a good time. But when it's 2 to 3 as well, we still have a good time. And we can have really those intimate conversations.
Yeah, I have been an introvert for a very long time. I love my space. I love my peace. I love my quiet. And I do hear some people say, well, you should get out more. You should do this and you should do that. And I do make an attempt periodically. But and I am more so with the sister just said that that's those days are gone with phone calls. I've always been a phone call person. No matter what. I call if I can't get there. I'm always if I need to pick a day of the week, I'll pick a day of the week. This is just a call and check in. Not everybody calls me back. And I had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, although I'm an introvert, I still am a people person, believe it or not. Yeah. I love people. I love being with people and talking to people.
but I am an introvert because of things past, middle, present. But I do love to call people, and I had to come to an understanding with myself that okay, not everybody is a like I said, phone call person, and I had to learn. But that way. I really just mean that I am an introvert, but at the same time, I guess you would say, like Carolyn said, an extrovert. I am always the one to call, check in. What can I do?
Not always.
Don't do that.
A year ago.
We're on the air.
Everyone at this table except Carolyn. Hurting me. Understand? But that's what I mean. Just for those out there in podcast land.
I know that Vern is a telephone person. I want to be better as a friend to call her because she is a telephone person, but I also would invite her to come and spend time with me because I'm an interpersonal person and want to see her. So that's what I mean about that consistency. We all have different needs and we all require different things in the friendship, and just meeting each other halfway, I think will go a long way in our journey.
And that's what I'm talking about, like, getting into your relationship. Y'all get into us getting into each other's world.
Yeah.
You know, we have to do that in every relationship, in marriage, in friendship, and with your children. You know, sorry.
I was just gonna say for the record.
You're so good.
For the record, it doesn't have to be, oh, I am the single one in this group. I just thought that the audience should know. that I am single, never married. So I am always mostly.
Come on, go ahead.
Because you guys all have husbands, I don't, when your husbands are, I don't do a lot. But that's just how, I was like, But I don't mean phone call, like call Vern back, or we have to kick it on the phone for 18 hours. No, because if the conversation strays, then I'll be, well, I'll talk to you later. I've always been like just the caring one who says, that I can, you don't have to say it, but I sense it. You don't have to, even if you're thinking or feeling it, like, oh, it's so and so and so and so. But if I know you don't want to speak on it, then I'll back off and then I'll go in my class and talk to you.
Can I tell a quick story about it's a good story. It's kind of funny. But the thing was when before Vern lived here or moved here, she used to, call and check on us from time to time. And, I really valued that because when I had lost other friends who felt like I wasn't returning their phone calls and things like that, she would still call and check in on us to make sure that we were okay. And that's what kind of really, really made me, latch hold of her, because I knew that, God was working in our relationship because she still stuck and stayed with me through my lack of reciprocating calls and things like that. And so one time she called me, and I promise y'all, I didn't even realize a whole half a year had gone by.
It was, I won't say that. It was okay.
Well, it was a while. And she left this really nice message. Hey y'all, I'm just calling to check on y'all, make sure y'all are good and tell y'all I love you, in her sweet, sweet voice and all that. And so when I called back, I was like, hey Vern, yeah, we good. She called me back and was like, I was checking last year to see if that was the whole year ago. Oh, wow. I don't know if y'all alive and y'all dead, nothing. And so I was like, okay, that's when I realized I need to do better because I don't know if she was concerned or worried or whatever. And so that was, we laughed about that for a long time because she was like, that was a whole year of
Right.
nothing.
I'm glad that's why she went in her closet and talked to her.
Yeah,
father.
talked to her father.
Yeah, that's what crazy to stop people from her father.
Yes.
Message.
Mhm.
And you don't have to party, not say nothing, but just so you know that you on somebody's mind.
Right.
and you
Yeah.
on somebody's
Yeah.
heart.
That's good. That's good. I love it.
She didn't listen to this. He said that.
He did?
When the spirit prompts you to reach out, you never know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Bishop.
Yeah, they do it all the time. All right, come on, talk to me, Cece. It's on you with awareness.
Awareness. So I picked that word because we have to be aware naturally and spiritually. And we have to know the difference. And for me, growing up as an only child, I had to be, all I had was cousins. And so I'm aware of everything. And so when I was first introduced to Lucretia, his other relationship with PJ, but I was just like, I'm more reserved. And then I'll come out once I feel you, because I have to feel your energy. And if I don't, I'll be cordial, and then if I don't, but awareness for me is like if I see you and I know something is wrong, and you may not say it, but I know because God is speaking through, is telling me, and I'll be like, "You okay?" And you be like, "Yeah, I'm good." Okay, I give you 48 hours. Right? You have time. Right? I give you 48 hours, and then we're gonna do everything. 48 hours is your time. But naturally, like if the kid having activity, I know something wrong because your whole demeanor doesn't change. Go fix it.
Right.
But to be aware and recognize it, those spirits are real. And when you recognize those spirits, you have to attack it. Not passively, but aggressively. Because if you don't, they will take over.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that. That was real good. That awareness. And it's something we throw that word out, discernment, but like that's all what that is. It is what it is. It's a gift from God that we all have. It's real. And so I'm thankful that y'all guys came together today and opened yourself up today and just share with the world, hey, we all are working on something. I'm talking about you came through with some realness on today. And I think that everything that was said on today, somebody identified with it. I'm glad to hear the comments, the shout outs to everyone that's online, that's listening. We're working on some things here in our friendship journey, and I'm hoping that you can identify what your weaknesses are, some things that you need God to change in your life, so that you can be a better friend. I'm telling you, this friendship thing is real, right? And so we all have different layers to one another. We all have different areas of concern, and I'm so thankful that he's peeling. Christian, you talked about you being an onion peeling, but he's doing that for all of us. He's opening us up. As long as we're friends, there's still a lot of things that we just don't know about each other. And so that's why I'm thankful that we are taking this journey together.
Right.
We are showing the world, hey, we don't have it all figured out. This is not, we haven't just been friends since kindergarten and grew up together. And no, we are still learning as we go, as we model, as we're doing this thing, we're learning. And so I'm so thankful that you guys are taking this journey with me. I'm thankful to all of you that are listening for taking this journey with us. make sure that you continue to follow us, y'all. We gotta get off here. We gotta get off this air. I know we having a good time and we got deep today. On some serious stuff.
You gotta tell us your word.
My word, okay, my word was communication. Because they talked about it. I talked about it last time. Okay, so this communication, I want to get better at communicating. I want to get better with communicating individually as a group. I have things on my heart and my mind that I sometimes want to say that I feel like I'm being led to say, but I don't always communicate it. And I want it to be nice and clear, and so where you can understand. And this is where I should take something from Vernon actually call, because phone calls are important. You can actually get the understanding that you want via text. And so that's what happens, especially with text. I feel like texting is the way of the world. So as I'm texting, I'm always just overthinking what I want to say. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to do this. And I want to make sure they understand. And so then I don't want it to be too long. So I go through all this in my mind as I'm just trying to communicate. And it probably would be just easier just to pick up the phone and probably call and say what I gotta say. And so I'm gonna think about that and share with that and try to figure out how do I want to communicate better with each one of you, with my parents, with my children, with my spouse. He is a communicator. Like, so it's like I've been used to not saying nothing because he do all the talking. I know my husband don't know. He do all the talking. So I don't have to be the one that communicates all the time. But I believe where God is taking me, I have to. Right? People are waiting on me. People are going to be looking at me for many reasons. And I got to make sure that I communicate in a clear, concise way. And so that was one thing. Thank you for bringing it out. But we have some great points on today. So I'm happy, y'all. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like we're empowered the women. I feel about it.
We saw women today that friendship is not at a surface level.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, their friendships are at surface level. What you see, the mask, the what we put on to you is what you get. And friendship is really about getting to the core of who a person is. And that person for who they are without them having to dress it up if you address the person.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I like that. Well, y'all, we got to go. I believe July 13th is our next podcast. I'm talking about y'all have to listen in, because now we going from having friends, making friend rules, to talking about the friendship quote, no new friends. And you got the journal, you can already see who picked that quote. Everybody put out on that person.
No,
But next time, no new friends. What do you mean you want to build you want a movement and you're building a friendship and a journey, and we talk about no new friends. I'm talking about we gonna get deep, y'all. So make sure that you check in, you chime in. July 13th is the next time you will hear from us. And Tony, you better close this out because you know I'm gonna mess it up.
Let me get the countdown.
You know what I'm saying?
Our friendship journey.